You get a red light. So you,
to Mayor of Lambeth, Councillor Paul Ballard. Okay.
Right. Right. Turn.
Cool. You can be seated. Yeah, cool. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for electing me as mayor. I appreciate it. Um, at this point, it's always, I think, nice to sort of do just a little minute or so, just to, like I said, thank you very much for doing that. I'm really excited as the first ever Green Mayor of Lambeth, so that's an exciting thing, I think for us. But what I would like to say is the fact that obviously the position of mayor is the first citizen of Lambeth, right? So therefore, I'm representing everyone in Lambeth, not just Greens, not just Labour, not just Lib Dems, everyone. And I want to kind of sort of channel that energy in this chamber as well. Because we will have robust debates, as we should, as politicians in this chamber. But at the same time, as much as possible, if we can find consensus, that's the sort of the vibe, for use of a better word, is what I'm going to aim for here. But again, thank you very much for that. On that sort of theme as well, obviously at this point, the mayor usually says what charities that they're going to go for. But because, as we all know, this has all been terribly last minute, hasn't it? And everything's gone sort of so fast. So I haven't really had a chance to look specifically at charities yet. However, when I was chosen by the Green Group to be the mayor, my pitch, if you like, was that what I really wanted to do was find some arts and culture charities within Lambeth that I could support. Because for me, as you all know, I'm an actor, tour guide, work at South Bank Centre front of house. My bag is the arts. So I thought, well, this is an opportunity to champion arts and culture in Lambeth. And what I'd like to do actually for everyone in the room, all councillors, because I haven't chosen yet, if you've got links with arts and culture charities that you think to yourself, as I say that, oh, hang on a minute, I know one that would be quite good for us to look after and fund, drop me an email, let me know, tell me after the meeting, whenever, just give me a message. Because again, in that sort of collegiate style, I'd like as much as possible to us all to be supporting arts and culture in Lambeth. So that's if you like, where I'm coming from. So once again, thank you very much, everyone, and let's get down to business. Cheers. So our next item of business is the election of deputy mayor. So can I call on Councillor Keita Ogden to move the motion to appoint Councillor Judy Best as deputy mayor, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and may I be the first from the Liberal Democrat benches to congratulate you on your election to the mayoralty. It's my great pleasure to propose Deputy Mayor, my friend and colleague, Councillor Judy Best. Judy has been at the heart of the Streatham and Lambeth community for getting on 30 years. It's a source of huge personal pride to her and to us all that she is back on these benches where she belongs. She cares deeply about everything from the state of our streets to the safety of our young people. A witness herself in recent years to the horrors of knife crime, community safety is a top priority for her. Judy has served as a deputy mayor previously, and in this cycle, I know that she will serve brilliantly as your deputy, Mr. Mayor, and then as your successor next year. I'm sure colleagues across the chamber will be reassured to know that in the helter-skelter of today's politics, Judy has not changed. You never need to worry about knowing what Judy thinks, because she'll just tell you. We are excited for Judy and excited for the communities and good causes around the borough to whom we know she will reach out with her trademark enthusiasm and instinctive empathy. She will do our borough proud. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And can I ask Councillor Chris Nicholson to second the motion, please? Cool, thanks very much. Okay, so is the motion to appoint Councillor Judy Best as Deputy Mayor for the London Borough of Lambeth for 2026-2027 agreed? Agreed. I can't hear any negatives on that. So therefore, got to turn my page. Thank you. The recommendation to elect Councillor Judy Best as Deputy Mayor of Lambeth for the next council term is agreed. Mr. Chief Executive, could I invite you to ask the Deputy Mayor to make her declaration of acceptance of office, please? Cool. Congratulations, Councillor Judy Best. I look forward to working with you over the next year. Cool. All right then. So we now move on to the retiring mayor's report. So I'd like to call his former worshipful Adrian Garden to present this report to council, please.
So far, yes. Yeah. Every year, the outgoing mayor delivers a summary of his time in office. This occasion is only different in that there are considerably more new councillors to hear it. Rather than making this the culmination of the series of speeches given throughout the year, I'll give an overview of what the office of mayor entails and I found this member's office. Mayor carries out 6 main functions activities. First is to chair these meetings. The second to oversee the board and to see that I successfully found global challenges the year practice, so I bequeath in my gavel. Now, the second is to be Lambeth's ambassador outside Lambeth. This takes 2 forms: civic events such as at the Mansion House, Westminster Abbey, London Assembly, whereas the representative of Lambeth is the mayor's responsibility to make the best possible impression on his peers. That I hope I achieved. And then at the charitable events hosted by other London mayors, I went to many of these, both to show support and to contribute to their charities. In return, 9 mayors and their consorts came to my events in the Assembly rooms. The third activity is to represent the council at community events held within Lambeth. I've been to hundreds of these, to events for young people, older people, supporting people, sick people, to groups tackling social problems, health problems, to ethnic groups and national groups, to churches, mosques and temples, to groups gardening, performing or just having fun, and to a variety of resident groups contributing to their area. The mayor's attendance is to thank them and to provide the council acknowledgement. What they do is critical in helping the council to achieve its objectives. And I can assure you that everyone is delighted to receive that recognition and ecstatic to be present there. The fourth is to attend citizenship ceremonies in this chamber with 60 plus people every other Tuesday attend to receive their naturalisation certificate presented by the mayor and with whom they are individually photographed. Every London mayor rates this as one of the most moving events they attend. I'm frequently stopped in the street by people proudly showing me the photos of themselves standing with the mayor together. There's a lot of photography in there. The fifth is to recognise individuals and groups who made a significant contribution to the borough in the past year. The civic awards ceremony in the Assembly Rooms is organised by the council's events team with nominations from the residents of the borough. I, as mayor, was part of the small team selecting the finalists and winners from the shortlist, and I presented the certificates. On a smaller scale, held the local heroes in the mayor's parlour, individuals or groups who had particularly impressed me at the events I've been attending. As hundreds of people were evidently worthy, it was very difficult to choose just 30 of them. The sixth activity is to support the mayor's two charities. We don't know what they are yet. Last year, they have been Age UK Lambeth and Lambeth Food Bank, raised a five-figure sum, mostly through events. We had an open day at Lambeth Palace, provided very generously by the palace itself, attended by over 600 people, supported by the mayor's team, charities, and with Brixton Community Gospel Choir Board. And the mayor's big quiz of the year, some of you know that, held in the Assembly Rooms and hosted without charge by Jane Barnabas and his team. I was told that everybody enjoyed it immensely, which is not always the case with mayor events. So that's been my year and my lively memory of it. Despite the problems and difficulties, I've been continuously as a caseworker leading the council. I found as mayor, the borough in which the community itself provided fantastic and effective support to the vulnerable ladies. As the council cannot achieve all its objectives by itself, the support of this army of volunteers provides an essential contribution to making Lambeth what it is: healthy, active, age-friendly, child-friendly, safe, tolerant, sanctuary, and inclusivity. And now some advice to the board. Make sure you benefit fully the services of the mayor's office team, Juliana and Roland. Juliana arranges, organises, manages, and monitors everything that the mayor does. She also, incidentally, took my English degree from Cambridge, France, restructuring 3 roads, greatly improved them before sending them out. And roads must drive and protector, conditionally and use it correctly, ignore my advice, do not ever advise you on the best route to crush Lambeth, or present the happening. Finally, I wish for every success during the coming year in enhancing the reputation of Lambeth in the outside world, in visiting, supporting and encouraging all our community and faith groups within Lambeth, in raising large amounts of money for his charities, in putting his own mark on the road, and above all in enjoying the year as well. Thank you and goodbye.
Adrian, stay where you are, Adrian. Come back. You're still there. Cool. Where's Adrian? You are still there. Good. Because at this point, it's nice to, from each group, give you an opportunity to have a spokesperson to say something nice about Adrian and how fantastic mayor he was. I'm going to start with the Lib Dems. So have we got a councillor from the Lib Dems who wants to say something? Thank you, Councillor.
Yes, Paul, thank you. So slightly impromptu, but I'm actually delighted to thank Andrew, to thank Adrian for his year of mayoralty. I'll get the name right. As we know, he governed the chamber with quite a firm authority, enhanced by his gavel that he acquired, I think, at his second council meeting. I think he kept people in order. I think particularly, I know one of the things that was a bugbear of our group in the last administration was some cabinet members were quite verbose in their answers to questions, and I think he was actually very good at cutting that off and actually making sure that people stuck to the answering the question. But also, actually, he was very good about actually stopping councillors, and some of the newer councillors will hopefully learn this, that when you're asking a question, it is asking a question and not making a speech. And often, a little tempting thing, somebody would be having a little monologue, and then he would say, "And the question is." But I know I bumped into Adrian also occasionally during his last 4 years, my first term of office, as he was a regular at the Crown Sceptre Public House, which is the only pub in my ward. So it's a pub that I tend to go to occasionally. And I know he meets there with the church group, who's on one day a month. So occasionally we would have a sort of completely non-partisan conversations, comparing the Holy Trinity Church, where he went to, and my own church, and discussing matters completely different, non-political way. And it was that way in which he actually was able to engage with people across the political community is something I'll remember. He was a very stylish person as well. And all I'd say is I'd like to wish Adrian all the best in whatever he's doing in the rest from here on in. And I'm sure he won't be sitting on his heels for very long. We wish him the very best for the future and thank him for everything he did in his year as Mayor of Lambeth.
Thank you very much. And can I invite someone from the Labour group to do so? Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and let me be the first person in Labour Group to congratulate you to your post and all the best for your first year ahead. So, Mayor Garden, it's a deep and honourable pleasure to do this speech on behalf of the Labour Group. You've had the very difficult task of following the youngest mayor Labour has ever had. Sorry, Lambeth has ever had. But the word on the street is you've got far more energy than him anyway, so you've kept running rings around him. Throughout the year, you've carried the role with your trademark sense of humour, deadpan delivery, and ability to charm people right across our communities. Adrian Garden is someone who has always been deeply rooted in public service and in local community life. Having represented Vassal Ward in 2010, Brixton Hill in 2014 and 2018, Rush Common in 2022, he's changed the lives of countless residents throughout his relentless work ethic and determination to simply get things done. He has got very big shoes to fill. For a period of time, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, also represented part of my own ward and served as chair of the Friends of Windmill Gardens. Anyone who's visited Windmill Gardens today can see the impact of his dedication, persistence, and ability to bring people together to secure investment into community space. Thanks to that work, we now have a fantastic new community centre, which has become a real hive of activity for local people. Adrian's commitment to charity and volunteering is second to none. Whether it is continuing to volunteer even throughout his mayoralty with the food bank, supporting his church group, or choosing Age UK Lambeth, the food bank, as his charity of the year, he has consistently highlighted the importance of community dignity and looking after one another. We often say Lambeth is the best place to grow up, and just as importantly, is the best place to grow old. And as our first citizen, Adrian championed that message with real passion. That spirit of compassion, service, and community has defined his mayoral year, and we will all be sad to see you leave this role. although I must admit I'm very pleased to get my chief leafleter back in the board. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your service, your humour, your dedication, and everything you've given to Lambeth over so many years. And I know you'll continue to do that in other roles as well. You've left a lasting legacy in Lambeth, and I know your family will be really proud of all you've done. It's been a genuine pleasure to work with you as a colleague in our group, as our mayor, and as someone I'm proud to call my friend.
Thank you very much. And can I invite someone from the Green Group to do the same? Councillor April.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations on your election. It's funny how things turn out, isn't it? Tonight, we mark the end of Councillor Adrian Garden's year as Mayor of Lambeth, and I would like to pay great tribute to him. Whatever differences we have across this chamber, the mayoral role is a demanding one. Over the past year, Adrian has represented the borough at a huge number of civic and community events, from school visits and local celebrations to formal borough engagements. It's a diary that doesn't really slow down for 12 months. So I hope you know what you're in for, Paul. It's a busy role. Adrian first joined the council in 2010, representing Brixton Hill, and later continued his service in Brixton Rush Common after the 2022 boundary changes. And over that time, he's become a familiar figure in Brixton civic life. As mayor, Adrian selected Lambeth and Croydon Food Bank and Age UK Lambeth as his chosen charities, both fantastic organisations doing vital work supporting residents who are under real pressure right now. And that focus really reflects the reality many people in the borough are facing. Outside of the mayoralty, Adrian is also closely associated with the Brixton Windmill and Friends of Windmill Gardens, one of those long-running local projects that quietly becomes part of the very fabric of our community. A year of mayoral engagements does take its toll, and I suspect there'll be a bit of an adjustment to life without a constant stream of events, chains of office, and ceremonial duties to attend. From the Green Group, Councillor Paul Valentine will no doubt be watching how the role has been carried out for this year as we look ahead to future civic leadership in the borough. Adrian, thank you very much as your service as mayor, and on behalf of the Green Group, the very best of luck for your future.
Thank you very much. And I'd also like to thank Councillor Garden for his service. And I have the pleasure now of presenting him with the past mayor's badge on behalf of the council. So that's what we do, isn't it? Yeah, cool. Cool. All right then. Let me adjust my little hat. Right. So that concludes the ceremonial part of the meeting, and we've now got a few more items of business to deal with. So we're going to go on to the declaration of pecuniary interests. Item 4, that is declaration of pecuniary interests. Does any councillor wish to make a declaration of interest on any business before the council meeting tonight? Tumbleweed. Okay, cool. We're all good. So we don't have any pecuniary interest there. So we'll move on to the next item, which is item 5. Minutes from the meeting held on the 4th of March. Are the minutes of the meeting held on the 4th of March agreed as a correct record? Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah. Everyone happy? Cool. Fantastic. So they agreed. Thank you. The minutes from the 4th of March 2026 meeting are confirmed as a correct record. And then, oh, give me a second. All right then. So, yeah, basically that was talking about apologies, which we haven't received any. So obviously if there are, speak to Democratic Services, but we haven't. It then actually gave me another chance to speak about my objectives, but I've done that, haven't I? So we can skip that. My objectives are to get to the pub and watch Crystal Palace because we're in the Conference League finals tonight. So what timing this is. Okay, so thank you, Council. So we now would go to agenda item 7. Hello.
I would like to move a motion to suspend procedure rules as permitted under the Constitution's rules 14.1. With your permissions.
Sure. Yeah, and I think that's. Oh, I just need to hear from you, Councillor White. Is it urgent that we must do that?
This motion to enable an urgent motion to be then moved by this group for consideration by council.
Cool, thank you very much. I think that's it, wasn't it? Yep. So, do we need to get everyone agreement on that? Yes, or do I just do it anyway? Get it seconded. So, could anyone second that motion? Is that a formal seconding?
Second it, Mr. Mayor.
Yep, fantastic. So that's formally seconded. Do we agree to suspend the standing orders? Everyone happy with that? Agreed. Yep. Anyone not agree? We all good? Yep. Cool. All right then. That passes then. So we suspend the standing orders, right? Yep. Fantastic. So yeah.
And Mr. Mayor, again with your permission, I would like to move an emergency motion which has been circulated to all members of the council in advance of the commencement of the meeting, and it's listed as motion A2 on that paper.
Okay. Thank you. Then take a second up on that. Yeah. Yeah. That's all right. Okay, cool. So, hello.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask for confirmation that everyone in our group has received a copy of this motion, please?
Yep, sure. Everyone in the group received a copy?
Have you got a copy of the motion? Could you put your hand up if you don't?
It was tabled, so it's been tabled, I've been told, up at the front here.
Members of our group haven't had the opportunity to read the motion.
Okay.
Please, could you, members of my group, please raise your hands if you've not seen this motion so that we can get you a copy. Please, could we have some copies of the motion so that our group can read it? I don't have one either.
Pass them across. Straight on. They're looking at the motion now, so I just go straight to the 5 minutes. Apologies for that, Labour Group. Now you've got that. What I'm minded to do is to go for the 5 minutes proposal of the motion, and then we'll take it as we would normally take motions. I think that's the advice I'm getting from up here anyway.
Could I have a point of clarification, please? Do we get the opportunity to speak on these motions as the Labour Group?
I believe so, yeah, because we've got 5 minutes for the proposal of a motion, as per the Constitution, 5 minutes proposer, 3 minutes each for all other speakers, and 5 minutes for a speaker of the group who proposed the motion to amend or close the debate. So I will allow, during this debate, opportunities for you to speak on it, if that's cool.
Would it be possible for us to have a bit of time to read the motion and for us to decide who's going to speak on these motions?
How long would you like? 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I'm everyone happy with that? I think that's fair. We'll give 5 minutes and then we'll so is that okay?
It's not up to the room, it's up to you to decide how long.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Collegiate, trying to make it sort of everyone's happy. But yeah, so I will make a decision now. Here's the gavel. So we're gonna adjourn the meeting for 5 minutes. Allow you all to look at the motion, and then we'll meet back in 5 minutes where we will have the debate for the motion. Thank you. Let's get the officers back in. Great. Everyone get comfortable. So yeah, I've just spoken to the whips of each individual group, and we're going to take motion A2 now. So in order to do that, I'd like to ask the proposer. You have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I first of all apologise to our colleagues in the Labour group for something that's absolutely not intentional. I hope, collegiate spirit, sir, that you are encouraging from us that there will be for a newly elected member some generosity and benefit of doubt. Let me address, Mr. Mayor, 2 points, and I don't wish to take too much time from the council. Firstly, the purpose of this motion. Secondly, given the procedural method by which it comes before council, the urgency of this motion. The purpose is to recognise that on the 7th of May, voters across Lambeth returned a new council, and one that, sir, is in no overall control. And that for it to function well, lawfully, for decisions to be sound and to be inclusive of all groups and the people we represent, that there needs to be some difference in governance arrangements and the way that groups are supported. This is a motion for the Labour group, for the Liberal Democrat group, and for the Green group. It is to say that if decisions are to come before this council, then if they are to be good decisions that are made, that every member of this council must be properly informed before they make that decision. And to be properly informed, sir, they need to be able to have the access to the support that is required to bring matters before the council. That is its purpose. And I speak as someone, although I am a novice in this chamber, 31 years ago, I left my career as a councillor in a hung council for 8 years, in which we got it right for 6 years by doing precisely this. And we got it wrong in the last 2 when those relationships broke down. It may be 31 years ago, but I remember when we got it wrong, and what then we were not able to do in the interests of our residents. So that's its purpose, that the Labour group and the Liberal Democrat group and the Green group, whoever forms an administration, will be properly informed in the way that we can bring decisions. And the issue I bring most importantly before the council, maybe 31 years ago, but I remember it well, is when it comes to budget making, particularly the situation that we all recognise this council finds itself in, to make sure that we are as effective and lawful and as competent as we can be in passing a budget. You cannot have a situation where the governance rules that existed legitimately, some might argue, I wouldn't, but legitimately some might, in a council with a large overall majority, are then going to work in this council. This is to give equal rights and ability to act well to each group. Why urgent? Urgent, and this is a quick one, Mr. Mayor, because inevitably the current rules of the council have brought a paper, if I might say so, to address the late point, very late in the day in itself, under the standard procedures of this council, proposing that we should elect a cabinet and allocate seats to parties. And the council needs a little bit more time to do that and to get things right. That is the urgency of this motion. And I move it genuinely in spirit, as you have encouraged us, sir, of being collegiate. And I accept that this has not been the best process for our colleagues in the Labour group, but I look to them and ask them to find a unanimous way of passing this motion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Can I invite a member of the Labour group now? 5 minutes. Thank you.
with no overall control and what that means.
Well, thank you. Green Group can give you 5 minutes as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You'll be glad I won't be taking up the 5 minutes, but we must let the chamber know that the Green Group will be supporting this motion because we know what it's like to be in opposition. And now, as the largest group in the council, and with the popular vote from the residents, we have a mandate to change the culture of this council. But we must recognise and respect that this council is in no overall control. And that culture change has to mean working collaboratively across parties for the betterment of Lambeth and its residents. And as a Green Group, we are fully committed to that shift. No longer can we work in silos or factional groups. We have to show the residents of Lambeth from day one that this council has changed forever. And that is why we'll be supporting this motion from the Liberal Democrat group tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Right, thank you. Okay, so we're going to allow folks. Take a breather minute. Okay, cool. We'll allow now the closing speech, maximum 3 minutes from the Liberal Democrats.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't propose to take very much time, but just to address the points raised by my colleague opposite there, the first thing I would reiterate what Councillor Corden had said is this is a motion that's actually seeking to protect the interests of all parties in this group, all parties in this chamber this evening. The second point, and very important point, is that it's actually become clear to us as various discussions have been going on in recent weeks about what may be happening on the council, that it's actually been difficult for some groups to get equal briefing from officers. There's actually trying to establish that principle here, which is why we felt it was a need to bring a motion. And it also echoes back to some of the experiences that our group and also the Green Group will have had in the previous council. So it's for those reasons that we're actually seeking to bring this motion forward. We think it's actually at its core, it's about improving the decision making in this council, and that's a principle that we need to start right from the start of emphasising about how things are going to have to change in Lambeth. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to move to a vote now on motion A2. Yeah, cool. All right then. So, by a show of hands, all those For motion A2, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. And yep, put your hands down. All those against motion A2, please raise your hand. Yeah, thank you very much. Hands down. Any abstentions for motion A2? See an abstention. Yeah, so that motion does pass. Okay. Thanks. Okay, for the next one, I need to call on Councillor Simon Corden.
I won't take too much of the council's time because many of the issues were actually very effectively covered by colleagues to my left. Given that we have stated the need for this council to act differently, I agree with Councillor Abrams. A new culture has been called for by the electorate of this borough. And I agree with the leader of my group that this borough needs to change the way it works. And therefore the standard motions that would have come in the old days, legitimately or not, those standard motions are not fit for this council in its no overall control position. And that's
sorry to just interrupt you. I've just been informed by my colleagues here. You also in your speech need to demonstrate the need for urgency on this one for me. Thank you very much. The emergency motion adjournment of annual council meeting to enable safe, legal and effective dissemination of matters required by statute, legislation or the council's constitution to be so determined at the annual meeting of the council. It's that motion.
Thank you, sir. And given that you raised the motion and not asked me to move it, I'm not quite sure about the complaints are over here, but to satisfy them, I formally move the motion in my name that is listed as motion B on the second page that colleagues across the chamber have now had for some 20 minutes or more. The urgency of the motion is exactly the point I was addressing. That the old style of electing a leader and cabinet from one party, or electing a leader who then asks council to do no more than note a cabinet and to appoint committees, may not be the most appropriate governance route for this council. And there are those of us who believe that the electorate sent that message when they said, please end town hall knows best, tick box consultation. They said to us, don't just say those words, but act upon them. Timescales are tight. Here's the urgency. Annual council, as we know, by law, has to take place no later than the 21st of June 2026. Therefore, it is inevitably urgent that we must consider this tonight. I don't think there's much more to say, because to be honest with you, it's pretty damn obvious to me, Mr. Baird.
Okay, procedurally, I need to say that I agree to accept this motion for debate. So that's exactly what we're doing now. So what I'm going to do now is invite a member of the Labour group to speak for a maximum of 5 minutes as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And Mayor, personally extend my congratulations to you on your election and also wish Crystal Palace all the best for the final tonight. It is deeply regrettable that this motion is necessary tonight. And sadly, it is a consequence of the chaos and confusion we've seen over the last few weeks due to the indecision and indecisiveness of the Green Group. Because the situation we've had, as far as we understand it as a Labour Group, because we've not been kept up to date on these conversations, is that the Greens said in their manifesto they would adopt a committee system. They then told the Liberal Democrats they were going to do so. Then at some point this week, they U-turned on that and decided they wanted a leader cabinet model. Then at some point today, they've U-turned again, with the end result being that they've U-turned on their U-turn and come full circle on the fundamental issue of how this borough is governed. And we are still none the wiser in this group on where you actually stand on this fundamental question. We've been clear in our conversations with both the Greens and the Liberal Democrats that we are open to the introduction of a committee system. I hope they both agree that that is what we have said to both of those groups. Yet we have also said we urgently need information on exactly what system you are proposing, what these committees look like, what the transitional arrangements will be, and what the resourcing and financial implications will be, as well as any equalities impact assessment. These are all serious, legitimate questions that I hope all parties in this chamber would agree need to be answered. And I'm afraid the onus is on you in the Green Group to answer these questions, because you are the ones that brought this emergency motion to trigger an extraordinary meeting. Therefore, you need to tell us, what is your proposal for a committee system? How will it operate? When will it come into effect? And answer all of these questions. And only then can we take a decision as to whether or not we would support such a proposal. But that onus really is on you, and I hope you come forward with that detail urgently. Because all I will say is this: we need to get this right. This sets the tone of how we're going to govern this borough for the next 4 years and how these arrangements are going to work. This is already incredibly rushed. We already lack the detail we need on such substantial constitutional change, and the onus is on you to sort that out. So we remain willing to listen to these proposals and consider them. But as things stand today, we simply cannot say whether we will agree to what you're going to propose next week, because we simply don't know what that proposal is. But what we can say at this stage is that reluctantly, we will support this adjournment tonight, because there is simply no way we can agree to the leadership of this council, the constitution of this council, the allocation of seats, when we have no idea what governance arrangements you are going to bring forward. So with great reluctance, because we don't think this delay is in the best interest of the borough, we will support the adjournment. But I simply end by saying this: when you speak now, please tell us, so everybody is clear in this chamber, do the Greens support a move to a committee system? If so, what does that proposal look like? And when is that detail on all those critical questions going to be provided? Because until all of that is clarified, there is nobody in this chamber, whether Labour or Green or Liberal Democrat, who can take an informed decision next week on whether to support that or not, because the information simply hasn't been provided. You've taken your right to call an emergency meeting. You've taken your right to change your mind several times on what you're going to propose. So please now tell us, where do you stand? Give us the information we need so that we can all make the right decision in the best interests of this borough. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Okay, so I'll invite now a member of the Green Group, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and you'll be relieved to know I won't be taking 5 minutes allocated for the speech, and need to make it clear that the Green Group will be supporting this motion. I also need to make it clear to Councillor Dillipore that we will not be commencing negotiations in this chamber as requested. He has got my number. We offered the Labour group a meeting many weeks ago. That was pushed back a number of times, and eventually we met and they had nothing to say. So, you know, we have come to the negotiations over the last 3 weeks in completely good faith. We recognise that we are the largest party. We recognise that we've got the popular vote from the residents of Lambeth. We recognise that we have the mandate to govern. But I'll say again, this council is in no overall control, and we are in a pretty unprecedented position where we have to reach out to other parties, where we have to negotiate with other parties, and we absolutely will not be taking lectures from the Labour group as to how we go about that. Okay, so we will be supporting this motion. Danny, Claire, you've got my number. If you want to meet this week to discuss next steps, then we are open to meet. Okay.
Folks, I know, I understand, but please don't go across for me.
So we'll be supporting this motion. That's your view, Claire. Okay, and you're facing the reality of being in an opposition now. So we're going to move on, and we're going to support this motion. Thank you.
Okay, Jade. To close this, I'm going to invite as movers Lib Dems to close if you'd like. Maximum of 3 minutes to close.
I don't think there's anything to add here, Mr. Mayor. It's clear that all three parties in the chamber agreed on this motion, so I will forego my necessity to summate and allow you to get to your football match more speedily.
Thank you very much, and apologies that this seems to be all about me, doesn't it? And it's really not. Cool. So let's go to a vote on this one then. For motion B, all those in favour, can I see your hand? Okay, you got that, Wayne? Yep, you can put your hands down, thank you. All those against? Okay, any abstentions? Okay, so that motion passes. So therefore, the substantive point is bullet point 6, that essentially now I will be drawing this meeting to a close, and we will be reconvening a meeting of annual council on June the 1st, 2026. So thank you very much everyone for attending. See you on June the 1st, 2026. Good night. Thanks.